What's up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C. In this particular video, I will be reviewing Marriage Boot Camp Season 5, Episode 5. Now, we're going the next day after Memphis meltdown, whatever, right? He's apologizing to his wife, people at the table, like, blah, 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 and I try to carry her weight. And again, here's this blame game, even though he's saying in a calm voice. Y'all notice he keeps saying this stuff to Toya. Or, about Toya. And Toya says she knows she needs to be affectionate. And then they showed a clip where he said he don't want to do basically the marriage thing anymore and stuff apart. Which we kind of knew that anyway. But the way he sometimes talks, you would think that somehow Toya paid his ass to marry her or some shit. Like, nigga, I didn't know you needed a green card, because the way he keeps talking as if he was tricked. I'm pregnant. It's like he's almost like he was tricked and forced to marry her, or he propositioned like she's like, I'll give you, 25 G's this for the first installment payment, and I'll, the next one you get, and once you go across the aisle, I'll give you the rest of the full money I owe you. That's what the hell he acts like, as if he was forced or tricked into getting married. You know what I'm saying? Some form. And again, they're about to do the warm up, whatever, right? And like I said, you got people talk barriers. And Lisa admits that Adam, a lot of times when they get in these disputes despite small, he's always so quick to throw around a D word, divorce, And they have one little session where it's like the shock trip. Everybody get like a risk and they have more control. You say it's something that your partner says that makes you mad. You can just buzz them and stuff. So of course, Liz and Jim are basically observing like the communication, like vice versa, how it affects what you say, and the other like their spouse, how it affects them, and vice versa, and with the communication. So Tara, I think kept buzzing Dean with his, because she was even mad that he don't even look at her text, or even contact back on her Yahoo mail or whatever. So like I said, we have, like we doing this communication thing, and Judge Charlotte comes in to talk to them, because Liz, they're in, I think all three of them in the room, Liz and Jim and Charlotte, because basically like another midday intervention because of the way this is going. And she brings up like of course the situations again, the problematic thing, you got Memphis, we don't have to repeat everything because it's the same shit it was last week. And, like I said, Adam and Lisa with the divorce were to be thrown into communication problems with them. Then I think even later on, Lisa was saying about how, I have baby and I just want to be able to communicate. And a lot of times, he'd be like getting mad and panicking because I don't know all the passwords to all the safes. And then he hear panicking, blah, blah, blah. Because if y'all don't remember, he's like preparing for doomsday. He's one of those people. And I'm like, they almost seem like opposites attract, Lisa and Adam, because, it's really and so Judge Chandler was also speaking to both British and Renzo about that talk that she had. I forgot to mention last episode review, because the Memphis thing really has stood out. He was she was bringing it up like, are you going to tell the truth about whether you've been faithful or not, and have the talk. And then he agreed, because first he was looking like this for a second. I was feeling like, please Lewis, don't be is anybody gonna have their last that orange juice or something? Just not a distraction. So later on, the British and Lorenzo decide to talk, and she asks him, has been other women, and he does admit that. And she's like, how many? He says 4, and she's like 4 different times for women. She was like 4 different women, and she's like, asked something like, how did it come to be about? Something like that. He was like, I just want to move on in the past, from there. And then, British just explained, like, you could, what if you could have got these girls pregnant or something like that, then it would have been over. But, the real reality is, he's in 4 different women. We don't know if it's 4 times something, whatever. But also, too, is, he may be counting the ones he might have had just full-blown, just inserted in the cootie cat. Somebody say, because some dudes don't count, some people don't count oral as actually be actual sex at all, or don't count as sex at all, I guess. But even though it's still sexual gratification, you get what I'm saying. That's for females. Who's to say how many if there? And that I'm just saying is we don't know if he's been having unprotected sex with these females or whatever, but it is a risk. And unfortunately, like I said, regular guys and gals, some grave guys, even some gals do it where they'll go ahead and like various people and whether it's a relationship or not, and and just be like, oh well, whatever. But in this case, he's in a relationship, and it is about putting risk. He said he apologized and everything, but like I said, is also, but also like I said, him being in the entertainment industry, unless she's gonna go every time he goes and plays overseas or whatever, and everywhere it has, and it's like there's access, just other reasons. It's kind of sadly not uncommon to hear stories like this about the infidelity and you dealing with the dude, the woman, especially because numbers like somebody in the industry, whatever, and so fidelity is kind of like rare. Like me finding a diamond when I go outside this house, on the ground, like or a bag of unmarked bills of at least of $10,000 something dollars, and nobody's coming back for it. American money. We're not Monopoly. Just you get what I'm saying. That's how rare it is as far as somebody's willing to be faithful. Period. In some cases, sadly, but they're going to move on now. I'm not going to go into everything, but also we go to a later assignment, which they take off the the little shock treatments, whatever. And like I said, I think before they went out, like I said, the individual, like I said, still Toya and Memphis is talking about 9% apology. Nobody seemed to actually really pay attention to so-called apology. Because like I said, again, he was saying about this bullshit like he apologized. I explained that earlier. But yeah, again, we cannot, I guess reality boot camp is always going to be with a boat. Somehow we going to be swimming and pedaling or something like that. So it's the blindfold challenge and the communication skills really are the ones that are going to be tested, but they ain't gonna know about it. They about to get a prize, whatever. That's where the thing is. Memphis, of course, is a competitive person, so of course he wants to win, and but they have certain people that are blindfolded. Now, okay, Memphis was blindfolded with Toya. Adam was blindfolded with Lisa. Okay, Cody was blindfolded with Michelle. British was blindfolded with Lorenzo. And did I forget anybody? I think I got. And Dean was blindfolded and Tara wasn't. Okay. Now, we seen a lot of communication problems from the start, but actually Michelle and Cody, just to make a long story short, were the only ones that seemed to be like right, left, right, go over here, because it was a course where they had the canoes, and there was 3 stations like these flotation devices where they had to add throw these, balls. They're supposed to go in the middle of these flotation devices, little float things. And, but they're supposed to guide the person, and that's where we're seeing, like the communication skills. And so we got Toy and Memphis. They're over here. They kept hitting the side. Lisa and Adam like, would you go over here? Go over here. I think a couple times Toy had to tell Memphis they kept missing balls. I think like I said, Cody and Michelle were the first ones. Tara kept on trying to pedal with her hands, but I think they were like the second. I forgot, because it seemed like once Cody and Michelle first had finally won, Liz and Jim did notice that actually, because they have this divorce or like this breakup, at least for the time remaining that they're there, they seem to have better communication being separate for a second. I mean, because sometimes even if you get back together, some people do need a break and heal. And I don't like even break up. You shouldn't, like I said, personally. For me, a person shouldn't. I can see break up at least once, but then if you sit here past 2 times maximum, but when you just do all this yo-yo shit, that's too much. But in this case, it's because you do sometimes need a break to understand, your viewpoint and heal. So in this case, you see to notice that since they had a divorce, they seem to have better communication, at least today. Stuff, Michelle ain't trying to kick Cody in his balls or say anything, but it just seemed like, at least in this episode, and someone I could have sworn the last episode, it really wasn't no drama really between them, like towards the, but like I said, the Memphis thing kind of had stood out and over, whatever. So, Anyways, like I said, Lisa, kind of like there's a way to communicate. There's problems with Adams, and it's also she has a self-awareness problem, which Liz and Jim notices because later in the episode, it's like Lisa always can say every problem is about anybody else, but she doesn't admit about what may be problematic about her. The problems with her that kind of exist, and not admitting. It's like almost saying like there's nothing wrong with me. Okay, I see. It's just admitting like, yeah, nobody's perfect there. And she's not saying that, but it's kind of like she doesn't want to admit that there are flaws with her. Like I said, British and Lorenzo came in last. They got to the point where she had to take the blind off, and they just floated to the thing because they really had communication. Because Lorenzo just shut down, but he was just like this, go straight, something. But it was like he wasn't able to communicate with her. She kept getting irritated, and they were the last ones there. And like I said, of course, Memphis and Toya, kept on missing balls a couple times, kept hitting the side. Tara and Dee one time hit the side a couple times. Lisa, a lot of times, kept hitting the side of the pond area that they were doing. And it was all about the responses, too, about, okay, just go back here, reverse, turn around. And, you see more couples irritating, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, Cody and Michelle in this particular thing were the coolest as far as like the communication wise. Everything ran very smoothly. Okay, now we got at the end, and it turns out, of course, they did evaluation and they explained it wasn't about the first person that came. Of course, Memphis was a little irritated, but at least he didn't show it in this episode about spazzing out again and shit. Okay, and Cody and Michelle won not because they were the first ones, because the communication seemed to be more balanced, whatever. They're happy. I don't know, they reconciled later on in the episode because they didn't show that, but yeah. Also, I think it was seen right between either before they went to the boats or before, whatever. At least all the myths, like as far as like Adam also being passive aggressive and one of the communication problems. She's gotten a point that he says the divorce word so much that actually this dude actually has printed out divorce papers. And it's kind of like, Mr. Adam, no. Like, it's almost like, are you staying with her to a certain point because y'all are married and y'all have a child? Because, Lisa said, like, they promised they wouldn't be just throwing the divorce word out. Because, their daughter looks like she's, based on the picture, is a toddler. And at the same time, like Toya said earlier, when she said Memphis said he didn't want to be married anymore, Lisa was like, are you going to fight if it's worth if you love some, here's Toya was like, if you love somebody, blah, blah, blah. And Lisa first thought when Toya was talking to her that she was saying like, well, you're going to fight for the marriage, but it's not worth fighting. Toya's like this. It's not worth staying something if it's toxic or you're not happy and stuff. We keep making each other miserable. See, ding, ding, ding. Okay. So she ain't gonna keep fighting for something and it's basically not worth fighting for. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, I know I'm not talking. It seemed like I haven't even talked this much this episode for this recap so far. But anyways, what was towards the end, which was interesting. Now, Lisa sat there and she feels some type of way that Tara doesn't talk to her, whatever, right? And she's talking to Michelle. And Michelle's like this, well, you can't say nothing to people who are going, don't act sensible and senseless and shit, whatever, Tara's couple screws with. But, Tara and Dean, like, Dean is the one that really more so will talk more so than Tara will, even though they're on the show, by the way, that they have to kind of, like, it's group therapy besides, couple therapy / individual therapy. And y'all remember when she did that story when she jumped and I first thought maybe I wasn't paying attention to her, and she talked about she was outside and almost froze to death. Somebody got locked the door and it locked the door, and then she got in. Then all of a sudden 3 weeks just ago my cousin brother had a baby. And everybody like, huh? Then she gets offended. Nobody can't come in here, blah, blah, into her mind and ask her questions. What the... Okay. But anyways, we see Tara is telling Toya that British and Lisa are the ones that like so quick to get in somebody's relationship and ask questions. Yeah, they a little bit nosy and stuff, whatever. Like I said, I don't understand Tara and Dean's reason of being on this show. I guess to help them, and um, when Judge Child was referring to them early the episode, she was saying about y'all need to figure out what y'all want to do. Do y'all even want to get married? I mean, I'm not saying to each other, but I mean even to each other. But just like, do y'all want to pair in the future be married to somebody? Think about that, because these are Dean and Tara. All of them are some grown ass people. But it's just saying, Tara and Dean is like they seem to be more best friends or friends with benefits at the most, if anything. Okay. And it's like, are they trying to work as a couple or work a bettering schedule when they have hanging out days, or hooking up days? I don't know. Shoot. So towards the end, towards when Lisa decided to ask Tara, like I think it was breakfast or lunchtime, whatever, and like I said, I think by this time they had to put back on their shock things, and like I said, they didn't really focus on people getting shocked that much this time. But when like I said, when Tara came from Toya from outside, and Tara sitting down, Lisa at this time, asked like Tara, like is there some distance between us, blah blah blah, and it's just Tara, but you notice, like I said, you see, I don't know if Lisa's about that life, whatever, you know what I mean, just whatever. I don't think you see me with Tara is just like this. Well, you spend. I just feel like you spend 5 days talking about the same thing or something like that, or just stretching it out. Well, remember, y'all, that's not what she said to Toya. She has a problem with Lisa based on what she told Toya outside on the patio, that basically Lisa and British get into other people's business and stuff and need to start worrying about their own, basically she didn't say all that, but basically it's like they always in somebody else's stuff. Okay. And then it's like, that's not what she said. And then here Dean started talking like, well, it's just you do certain things, blah, blah, blah. But Dean starts speaking up, and Lisa's like, oh, can she speak for herself? And here's Tara. That's how the answer I had. I'm thinking like, it's not surprising, because here's you on the show where you're supposed to really open up. And even she don't want to half-ass even speak to the therapist at times. And she's basically like even telling, like Lisa, like, okay, she has a problem, whatever the case is, was whatever. And it got to the point where, y'all, it's like, here's Tara, like, look at my eyes or something like that. I think Lisa has and here's on the other side, you got Lisa on one side, Tara on one side. Tara's like, I'm looking in your eyes, so what? Because it was like her, because, Lisa was like, okay, you got some cold statement towards me, whatever. And she was like, and here Tara was like, you want to do something, you want to fight, you whatever, and Lisa's like, I'm not trying to fight you, I'm a fan. She's like, I don't want to be a fan or friend, whatever, just stay in the house, whatever, and just, stay in the house or some shit, whatever. Like I said, I'm kind of still don't know why Tara's on the show. I really don't. Even though Lisa could have noticed like she didn't want to talk to her, I just will let her be, okay? If she want to be on that side, that's it. But like I said, that's not the reason, at least what I heard, why she had a problem with Lisa. It was Lisa, she claiming Lisa stretches out things 5 days. She didn't tell her. She feels like she'd be meddling on people's business and need to shut the fuck up. That's pretty much what she should have just told her if she had that problem. But she didn't want to say anything for some reason. So she could sit here and say, we want to fight, whatever. Tara, that's not there. Because what if Lisa was about throwing hands? Then it would have been a problem, whatever. Or she would have thrown something in your face, and you don't want nothing in your hair and have to wash, whatever. I'm just saying, like, what if she was like a little bit, had that anger and just, spazzed out. But they didn't. And then, they had the little critique evaluation by Judge Taylor in the end. And we had Renzo and, the breakthrough. It's basically what they learned today. And the breakthrough is British kind of took it better as far as on this information a couple of days ago. Because like I said, she would have spilled all Simply Lemonade and probably threw at least all the remaining amount of Ginsu knives at Lorenzo. Okay. Memphis and Toya, there's supposed right now that Memphis felt he had a good day today, and Toya showed more affection. They were a little bit more better off, even though he didn't win the competition. Lisa and Adam need to work, like I said, in communication. Toya and Cody, they had better communication. Tara and Dean realized, like their good is always going to be friends, but they learn now the difference between the friendship, relationship, something like that, whatever. But interesting enough, when Judge Todd was kind of like, she was a little upset, but she was like, but it's good about Tory from Memphis, like she had said earlier, and also towards the end of this episode. She said, like, they're more close than what they are. They just need to work on things, such as especially the communication, because communication is important, y'all. And very important. But then she had to inform her, well, I hate to tell you this, but today you got to report back to Atlanta. The court is called, and he got to go to court. So Memphis has to leave. And this is the case, if y'all remember, pending, where he basically left some weed when he was getting his car washed detailed, I think, or something like that. Isn't that the same as I could have sworn that episode had to do with? And they said it was a gun pulled on the man who didn't car. He was trying to claim he took some money out of his car and weed and came back and all this other stuff. And so, everybody was mostly talking about this concern, like, hopefully, man, you come back. Memphis, of course, is afraid about serving time in jail, in the end. So it kind of ends with that, where he's going to have to leave, possibly leave, if he's going to leave a day or not. But I've seen the previews, it look like he's at least going to come back or whatever, because, unless he must have got probation and stuff, I don't think he even got probation or anything for that stuff that happened, but I don't know. But anyway, y'all, that's pretty much how it ended. We're having Pleasant Life Pleasant Weekend. I wonder if there's going to be more tension between Lisa and Tara now, whatever, and we see from there, and that's what we got, y'all. But, yeah. But I'll see y'all next video. Hugs and love. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. But what did y'all think about this episode?